Hi, and welcome to another episode of Got Dragged, but Still Standing. I'm your host, Stelia Mann. So if you watched last week's episode, you know that we got to sit down and talk with the Betty Whitecastle. Who's the bitch in the hot seat this week? None other than Sammi Nilla. Hey Sammi, how are you doing?
I'm doing all right. This whole pandemic and protests and everything that's going on is kind of a lot.
I know, right? 2020 just keeps getting crazier and crazier. But I'm so glad to hear that you're doing well, that you've spared a little bit of time to chit-chat with me. So, first question is, what got you into drag?
So in 2013, I moved away from home and went off to school in Dallas. And it was a really dark time. So I watched a lot of TV. And at the time, RuPaul's Drag Race was actually on Amazon Prime for free. And that started my obsession with drag. So I went to a show called Queered here in Dallas, May Graves' show. I saw Brandy and Mara Sky for the very first time. And that blew my motherfucking mind. And starting pretty much that exact same week, I decided I'm gonna do drag. And I started practicing makeup for the very first time.
So what has drag taught you about yourself from that first time putting on makeup to now?
What has drag taught me about myself? What hasn't drag taught me about myself? I feel like the second you get in drag, you learn everything that you can be.
I love the way you put that. There's a world full of people who try to tell you what you can't be, but drag tells you all the things that you can be. What are some specific things that drag has told you that you can be, despite what the world is telling you?
I've learned that I'm not as shy as I like to think I am. I'm also shady as hell, but in the nicest ways. It also helped me learn more about my sexuality. Now I'm queer as hell and gay as hell, and it's great. And I am proud to be me.
Well, I personally am very happy to know you, Sammi, and that wouldn't have happened without Get Dragged. How was your experience filming Get Dragged?
Well, so I am not a good filming person. I got a ring light and a phone. So trying to make shit look nice and professional, it's so stressful. It was so stressful.
I completely agree, and from our chats with the other girls, it seems like every one of them struggled a little bit too. And we have some pretty fierce queens in our little cast, so it made me feel a lot better knowing that they were struggling just as hard as I was.
These bitches are awesome. Being asked to film alongside all of you incredible talents was a little terrifying, but so exciting. I also knew for a fact that I wasn't gonna make it all the way when I saw I was up against Go-Go. Hey girl, thanks for taking me out. First episode. You know, it's fine. My audition sucked. I know it. That's why I said I knew she was gonna win.
Speaking of your audition, some of the queens have said that the Sammi in your audition versus the Sammi in your confessionals are completely different people. Why do you think that is?
The Sammi in the audition video was not really the Sammi that I am day to day. And I was in the worst headspace because I was having panic attacks every day. Mind you, keep this in mind. When I filmed the audition, quarantine had just started. And Texas was going nuts. So trying to film and be happy and do something that people would probably enjoy was so incredibly difficult. Also, my audition video was filmed at midnight, the night before I had to be at work at 8. So I didn't put a lot of thought into it. So at midnight, I'm filming and thinking, how the am I supposed to make this creative? And then I was like, you know what? I'll bounce on a ball. That's creative. No one else is going to bounce on a ball. Yeah, I regret that.
So, if you had the chance to go back in time and redo your audition, what would you do differently?
If I could change anything, I would change a lot of things. I would actually plan. I would maybe look up some taglines. And, yeah.
Well, even if your audition wasn't perfect, you definitely made a comeback with your confessionals. Every time I see you pop up on the screen, I just can't wait to hear what you're going to say and who you're going to read to absolute filth. In fact, you're so good at reading all of us, it's hard to tell if you secretly have a favorite. Do you have a favorite?
Well, from watching the auditions and the taglines in the very first episode, I loved Go-Go. She's hilarious. I loved Go-Go. Tina Coladas is my mom's favorite. She's really, really funny, is what my mom says. So, there's that.
So Go-Go and Tina are funny, yeah, but if there was an award for best drag name between all of us, you would win hands down. I am absolutely in love with your name. How in the world did you come up with it?
What had happened was I got sick and I was researching stuff about why I was sick, you know, self-diagnosis kind of thing, and I can't spell for shit. So I thought maybe I have salmonella. So I typed in Sammi Nilla because I thought that's how it was spelled, and it wasn't. But then I was like, Sammi Nilla! That is a perfect name! And it fits me because I'm gross!
So did you actually end up having salmonella?
Yes, I did. And it was not fun. Let me tell you. I just felt like shit. Then the next morning I went to the urgent care because I was like, I'm gonna die, I don't know what's happening. And he said, well, there's probably 2 or 3 things that it could be. Appendicitis or salmonella. Appendicitis or salmonella. And then I was like, is this karma? Is this self-manifestation? If I am self-manifesting this, I'm changing my name. But I didn't because my name's great.
Never change your name and never change who you are because you are such an amazing drag artist, and I'm so thankful that I've gotten the chance to get to know you a little bit better through this interview. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me for just a few minutes. I've really enjoyed it.
Thank you for doing this, by the way. I think it's a really cute idea. I'm excited to hear more about all my competitors.
Absolutely, and I cannot wait for them to see this and learn even more about you.
I love y'all. Bye. Mwah.
We love you too, Sammi. Mwah. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Got Dragged But Still Standing. Who's gonna be in the hot seat next week? Looks like you'll just have to come back and find out for yourself. Bye! Make sure you're watching Get Dragged on Elvirus's YouTube channel.